The brand new working week starts with no local racing action till midweek. So by Wednesday, everyone will be chomping at the bit, suffering from withdrawal symptoms, and raring to give this meeting in KZN a full go. Thanks for joining me on A Sure Thing. Good to have you along for the preview of this 8-race program at Hollywoodbets Greyville. We're on the turf track, and the first race gets underway at 12:35. I thought it's one of those cards where one or two horses do stand out on the day. There are one or two races where we're going to have to be a little bit cautious with, but towards the latter part, it gets very, very tricky, and hopefully we can build a kitty at the start of the meeting and then get involved in those exotics, structure them correctly, and hopefully collect a few rand at the end of the day. Now, being 8 races on the card, it means the exotics on the tote starts from race 1, which will be the opening leg of the bipot, race 2, first leg of the place accumulator, 3, first leg of the pick 6, and races 4 and 5, legs 1 of jackpots 1 and 2 respectively. As far as the Hollywoodbet Punter Challenge is concerned, those entries of course close 5 minutes before the advertised starting time of race 1. Make sure you put the bet slip on. That's very, very important that you play the bet slip when you put through your selections, because that's what puts you in line for that mammoth 1 million rand jackpot prize that is on offer. Right, let's get into the action. First race of the day, 12:35, as I said. Off time of race number 1, and I do like the look of the favourite, number 4, Light of Gabriel, that runs in the familiar blue and white silks of Drakenstein stud. This one from the informed Dean Kannemeyer yard, and stable jockey Craig Zaki is on board. Jumps from stall gate 4, so will be perfectly placed and perfectly poised in this race over 1,200 metres, and you do know that Light of Gabriel, with the improvement that has been shown to date, is the kind of horse that I enjoy having a flutter on, especially at this point in its career. This horse was challenging strongly last time out, found one too good on the day when going down a neck. But that tells me that Light of Gabriel will enjoy the step up to 1,200 metres, and I wrote here, if not to green around the turn, the one to beat. So I'm going 4 Light of Gabriel to beat 2 Treasure Island, 1 Queen Fen, 8 Sun in my pocket. 13:12. That is the off time of race 2, first leg of the place accumulator. It is a maiden plate, fillies and mares. 13 runners will line up at the 1,400 metre mark. Here, number 3, Spin My Angel Spin, is at 2.5 to 1. Number 1, Celestial Diamond, 1.25 to 1. And it is 7.14 to 1 and upwards, bar those two. I like Celestial Diamond. And as I said, I like Light of Gabriel in the first. On to Celestial Diamond in the second. You'll be able to get 9 to 2 the double, and that should be able to give us a good kitty for the remainder of the afternoon if the double were to arrive. Celestial Diamond, I thought, much better than that last run. That was in very strong Grade 1 company. That was in the Grade 1 Tukwini Stakes. Celestial Diamond was slow, lost length, and was never in it from the get-go. But prior to that, certainly had very good form coming into this race. And then I see that Kabela Matsanyani retains the ride, gotten to know her well, but more importantly, my good friend Mr. Howells is the one that sends out Celestial Diamond. So, what does Mr. Howells say in front of the winning form? She drops in class and can give a good account of himself. That's good enough for me. 6 Celestial Diamond, ahead of 1 Takatelvi. For third, I'm going with 3 Spin My Angel Spin, and fourth, I'm going with number 8 Annie's Song. Third race of the day, first leg of the pick 6. You need to be on by 13:45. Maiden plate, 11 runners will line up at the 1,800 metre mark. Here, number 1, Call Me Wild, is at 2.27 to 1. Number 5, Cheers, 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 is at 3.57 to 1. 4.55, both 8 Cool Wind and 9 King Sultalis at 4.55 to 1. And it's 5 to 1 and upwards, bar those. Initially, I thought, let's go with number 1, Call Me Wild. But then I thought to myself, hold on. Here's a horse that's only had 1 run under the belt, which means there's far more improvement to come from the son of Awam. So I'm going to side with number 5, Cheers, 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 from the training partnership of Mike and Matthew de Kock. Hollywood owned and Hollywood retained Sean Veal in the saddle. I thought that was a promising debut. Because this horse was green, as to be expected on debut, and hung out over the final 500, but for that, should have finished a whole lot closer. I also do think that Cheers, Cheers, Cheers will enjoy the step up to 1,800 metres, and with any amount of natural improvement to come, definitely will be involved in the shake-ups. I'm going 5 Cheers, ahead of 1 Call Me Wild. For third, I'm going with 9 King Sultalus, and fourth, number 2 Roy's Grace. Fourth race on the programme, first leg of Jackpot 1. Middle stakes, 8 runners will line up at the 2,000 metre mark. Precious little to choose between the top 2 in the betting. Here, number 4 Bristol Hercules is at 3.03 to 1. Number 2 Go Grace and Go at 3.33 to 1. I guess the reason why there's so little to choose between the two of them is because there's a 1.5 kilo swing of the weights in favour of number 4 Bristol Hercules. Now these two are renewing rivalry. That was for a half a length beating, so that means that Bristol Hercules can turn the tables. However, Go Grace and Go has had 1 run since then. Started favourite and in fact found lots of betting support, so this horse owes us. Shortened right down in the red to 6 to 10. Hung was carried in over the final 200, but for that should have finished a whole lot closer than second at 0.8 lengths behind the winner. So I'm hoping that Go Grace and Go can actually make amends and go one better here, and hence the reason I'm siding with 2 Go Grace and Go, despite the fact that the form book tells me Bristol Hercules does have the edge as far as the weights is concerned. I do think that if Go Grace and Go goes to the front, will be hard to peg back in the run to the wire. So, 2 Go Grace and Go is the selection ahead of 4 Bristol Hercules. For third, I'm going with 8 Trois Quat, and fourth, number 7 Plum Pudding. Race 5, which is leg 1 of Jackpot 2. This is a Class 4 Fillies and Mares Benchmark 80, where 8 runners will line up and face the starter. This is one of those races where you could make a case for at least 4 or 5 of them, and then keep fingers crossed and hope that you've selected the correct 4 or 5. Because it's 3.57 to 1, number 5 Alana, 1 Prom Queen at 4 to 1, so too 7 Siberian Winter at 4 to 1. Uber Quebezana is at 4 to 1, and then it is 5 to 1 and upwards bar those. So you can see they priced up pretty much on top of each other. Where am I going? I'm probably going with a horse that I think is in a rich vein of form at the moment, and that is the Hollywood trained owned number 8 Uber Quebezana. MJ Woodendal, the trainer. Sean Veal does duty. This horse did pick up a 4-point penalty for that last win, and I see is renewing rivalry with the likes here of Happy Fortune and Golden Moment. However, Uber Quebezana, that was really a very easy win if you look at it. Came from off the pace, was running on very strongly, picked them off one by one, and then one going away. Likely to come from off the pace again this time round. Third run after rest, so should be cherry ripe, and I do think can make it back-to-back wins. Hence the reason I'm going 8 Uber Quebezana to beat number 7 Siberian Winter. For third, I'm going with number 5 Alana, and fourth, number 2 Happy Fortune. 6th race on the programme. That's the one up next. A Class 5 Fillies and Mares Benchmark 66. 10 runners will line up at the 1,400 metre mark, and this is one of those races you can either go short or you need to go wide. This is one of those races where you need to decide which is the way you're going to be playing. 10 St. Bridget is at 2 to 1. 5 Copacabana 3.33 to 1. 5 to 1, number 1 Amerfort. 6 My True Love 7.14 to 1. And bar those you can get 8.33 to 1 and upwards the others. I like number 10 St. Bridget. Yes, she does make her KZN debut here. She brings solid Cape Town form with her, and we do know that Cape Town form normally is very strong wherever they go once they've ran a few races here in Cape Town. This one is from the stable of Candace Bass. She now has a satellite yard in KZN. I do think that if this horse has settled in its new surroundings, this being her only runner on the day, with the kind of form that it is bringing into this race, will make St. Bridget a very, very competitive runner in this lineup. So I'm going 10 St. Bridget to beat number 7 Oh My Gucci Girl, 5 Copacabana, and 1 Amerfort. Race 7, the penultimate race on the day, is a progress plate where 9 runners will line up at the 1,400 metre mark. And, once one gets to a race like this, the first thing you do is you look at highest rated or best weighted, etc. And the horse that's top of the boards, number 3 Regeneration, 1.82 to 1. Next on offer is number 6 Mfaka. He's at 4 to 1. 5-1, number 4, Treaty of Paris. 7, Jeanne d'Arc is at 4-1. 7.14-1 and upwards the others. And as I said, Regeneration probably was the right one. But then I saw, that was a bit of an indifferent run last time out. But more so, that was 17 weeks ago. So as far as I'm concerned, this horse probably may just need this run or a run or two under the belt before this horse will be competitive again. So I'm going to look past number 3, Regeneration, and look at number 4, Treaty of Paris. Comes into this race with a nice low weight of 51 kilos on the back. Apprentice J.C. Bottas takes the 1.5 or 2.5 off the 53.5. Always there or thereabout. But as I went further down and I got number 6, Mfaka, I thought, that's it. No need to look any further than Mfaka. Dean Canamere, Sean Veal, the second one from that stable that I like. Sean Veal is one of the jockeys I think we could probably follow on the afternoon at Hollywoodbets Greyville. To me, Mfaka ran on very strongly last time out, was closing in hand over fist in the closing stages, and the form line of that last run has also held up well, because Mfaka finished in third. The horse that finished fourth that day was a horse called Licensed to Thrill, who subsequently come out and won since then. Mfaka's really in a rich vein of form, now having his third run after rest, and his only run to date, or only win to date, has been under Sean Veal, who rejoins him for this particular run on Wednesday afternoon. I think he'll be cherry ripe to run an absolute cracker, so I'm going 6 Mfaka to win it, ahead of 4 Treaty of Paris, 3 Regeneration, and 7 Jeanne d'Arc. 16:45 is the off time of the last on the day. Race number 8. It is a benchmark, or rather Class 3 benchmark 96, where 10 runners will line up at the 1200 metre mark. 1.67 to 1, number 3, Military Command. Next on offer is number 2, Icy Blast. At 5-1, in fact, I missed one, number 7, Soho Star. Is at 3.57 to 1, and you can get 6.67 to 1, number 1, Gorgeous Guy. I remember number 3, Military Command, from when he ran here in Cape Town, and he was stable with Peter Muscat down here as well, and the last win in Cape Town was in that Cape Slipper. There was that sales race that was 4 runs ago, and subsequent to that, Military Command has certainly been running in much stronger company than it does face on Wednesday afternoon. I do know that they think very highly of Military Command, and I also do think that Military Command can bounce back to winning ways. He's the kind of horse that's still on the up, and I do think there'll be more to come from Military Command, and hence the reason I'm siding with Craig Zaki and Peter Muscat to close the meeting with number 3, Military Command, and beat number 7, Soho Star. For third, I'm going with number 9, Q Wing, and fourth, number 2, Icy Blast. And that takes care of our preview of our midweek race meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville on the turf on Wednesday afternoon. Trust you'll have an enjoyable and profitable afternoon's racing. Till next time, from me, Rouvaun. Cheers for now.